Hello, my name is Valentin Ranger. I'm an artist. I'm working with 3D digital painting, sculpting. I'm more thinking that I'm working like a factory, but more like recycle factory. I'm really working like that. That means that everything I'm using, like a drawing, after it's going maybe to come into my digital movies. A friend told me that I don't have the time to be afraid. So I think because I've learned a lot of things by myself, like the digital movies. A lot of people told me you're at the beginning of my scholarship, it's going to be too complicated, it's too long to learn 3D, and actually you have just to start and to think without limit and to think big, actually, just to go through the fear. So it was really important for me to just learn the most of things possible, just to think about the spectator in the future and how I'm going to manage every art space in my career or work. Before to go to Beaux-Arts, I was in theater, and I think it's really important for me to work into the digital space, like a free space where I can really create some opera or like very huge space without any limits, completely full of freedom for my creativity. I hope that my movies that are very theatrical could be very close to something like an opera or something. Because I'm from a dance background with my family. I saw so much things like that when I was a child, and I think I've started all the time to think about a new space with new bodies that are dancing with the music. And I'm like a sponge. I try to respond to all the pictures I can see. I'm using a lot my memory too, so I'm reusing some memories from my childhood or some art I saw when I was young. I'm not making any difference between the classical or more video games art. Since the beginning, I'm very, very, very in love to see a lot of details, to see a lot of characters, to see like people that are trying to make their own community or their own society. And I think, like, for example, with Bosco or Peter Bruegel, there is all the time in their paintings a way to show the society or their society, but in the same time to put their imagination inside the society. I think Pokémon, in a way, was a kind of new way to create a new society and a new communities of humans with like some creatures. The same with Miyazaki or with Fantasia, with Disney. I'm part of a contemporary society, so I did all my childhood with like a lot of pictures, and I think I dreamed about them. And now that I'm starting to become, I am an adult, it's very important to me to digest all of them and to try to create something with the past and the present for the future, yeah. I'm listening to a lot of classical music. It's very important to me, like it could be Gabriel Fauré. I love the Requiem of Gabriel Fauré. Passion selon Saint Jean de Bach, Passion selon Saint Matthieu, le Requiem de Mozart. I'm completely in love with Max Richter, who is like a very contemporary composer. I'm listening to Vivaldi by Max Richter quite every week. I'm listening to a lot of techno music. But every time I'm very fond of when an electronic musician is working with classical music. So in the same time working with a composer. Her name is Ines Sherifi. She's very new into the musical area, but in the same time she's making electronic music and she's playing violin and she's making all the music of my movies. Thinking that actually I could do like an installation here. I'm really like alone into that space, so it's quite funny. I think it's abandoned since like a long time. I think actually it's a bit dangerous. But I really want to do an event before to leave. I've started by in theater, so I had like quite a big discipline. I'm running, I'm doing a lot of contemporary sport. I'm not making like some kind of meditation. I think when I'm making a drawings or when I'm making something like more with my hand, it's something like even if I'm making digital movies with my hand. But that's why I'm making a lot of sketches, because I need to have like something that connects my body to an interface. I think it is starting with the line, and I'm writing in the same time a lot of stories. So it's like a meditation at the end. I don't know who was the first object I've made. It's sure that I think we cannot see them, but those characters were the first characters I did. And now every time I want to create a movies, I'm putting like some objects on them to like create a kind of mutation and to create some creatures. I think I have more than 1,000 objects everywhere. It's all the objects that I used into my world without any colors. It's very a mess, but normally everything is organized on my wall, so it's quite different. There is like some drawings I put inside, some paper, some sculpture, it's some big bang. I started like a kid, like with color pencils, and I want to stop to do that, but I'm not going to stop it. I'm using Blender, and I'm using Substance, and I'm using ZBrush. Where is Blender? The movies are here. There is a lot of wings everywhere all the time. It's a texture that you can change like whenever you want. I was looking to the angels inside. I went to the Prado in Madrid, and I really enjoyed Fra Angelico. So I was looking to an angel, but I don't know if it's inside this book. But I loved all those pictures. I love the space. I looked to a lot of pictures of the Inferno. I love how the people are connected. I have to say that if we have to speak about how to enter into my world, I think for the moment, I'm really someone that is going into my world. I know what I'm doing, what I'm making, but I'm discovering a lot too. I'm shy to discover even all my brain and my imagination. And I think I'm working for closely to myself, and I'm discovering a lot of monsters, and they are not good or bad. They are just like some pieces of the reality that I started to metamorphose. It's like an invitation to something that is going not to cure you, it's going to take care of you for sure. It's like a trip. It's not dangerous, but you are going to go into a place where you've never been before. You are going to meet some people, some creatures that they got their own way of living, their own autonomy. They are very intimate. They got like a secret, and in the same time, they are finished. They are not finished, but they came from somewhere. And for the moment, I'm really looking to where they came from and where they can go. They are kind of a community of invisible things that we can see into life. I know that I'm safe into the shadow, but I don't know what we are going to discover. And I practice a lot Shakespeare, and I think the metaphor of the forest, for example, in Macbeth, it's really important, and Kafka a lot. It's really about to go and I'm saying all the time that I'm working like someone that is going to a dark forest. Actually, when I'm inside, I know that everything could happen, but I'm feeling safe. And it's really like a dark where you can do everything you want. The abyss world, it's very important to me. And all the microbe and All the invisible world are really, I think it's something that we are connected to, and I love to go into something that it is very close to the invisible and close to something very intimate. At the end, I'm really looking for a marvelous experiment, very close to how I discovered other worlds when I was a child. Yeah, to be okay with your kind of alter ego. I'm not traveling into a lot of countries, but I'm traveling into myself, just trying to take the spectator by the hand and say to the spectator, you can go to inside yourself and maybe you are going to discover something very great, actually. Since I'm young, a lot of people are saying that I'm weird. Je n'ai jamais, I haven't ever. I'm more someone that did a lot. So I had like a lot of experiments. And I was very not afraid to discover a lot of different things. So, but in the same time, I'm very shy and I can be very afraid, but I love adrenaline.